So thank you so much, Mr. Mwape, for being here with us on Culture Podcast.
No, the pleasure is all mine. I love what you guys are doing. It's really brilliant to see that we have some really powerful um, youths with very brilliant minds that are just trying to make it work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think most people don't understand the entertainment side of things and the business side of things and exactly where we are at in terms of the world right now. So when I see you guys doing this, I'm like, oh, the future really looks bright.
Thank you.
No, we're
So,
grateful. We're grateful for that.
you know, we have watched you being in the entertainment industry since we were young, like little kids. So for us, it's like we are growing up and we have seen all the impact that you have had on the entertainment industry right in front of us. To this very moment, you are still very involved and very
Involved and
active.
very relevant, yeah. And a
Where-
big threat.
Yeah. Where is that drive coming from for all these years just to be that consistent?
I think I love to say it all started with commitment. I always say without commitment, you will never start. And without consistency, you will never finish. So we are in an industry where all of us really want to get to the finish line. Sometimes you find you probably die trying, like my young brother. And sometimes you make it. So it's a serious chess game, and life is that way. But I think it's the passion that I have, and there are certain things that I've observed that these things really need to work in our country, and probably let's say Africa as a whole. So if you're in a certain space, you really look at certain things and say, I think I would want to reach that side. And if I can reach that side, maybe I can become this way. And if I don't reach there, and then when you have children, they now begin to push you because you begin to look at them as they try to do what you do. Then you're trying so hard to just make them have a very clear path for them to come and not struggle the way you struggled, but to just make sure that you've created the right path for them. Yeah.
So wait, one of your children is part of your production team, right?
My children, actually.
All of them.
Yes, Max is a director, and he's also made a lot of so many movies. If you look him out, Mwape. Just recently we were doing a movie. Malawan lead actor, and we had to fly in a DOP from Kenya just for collaboration, and he was directing and part of producing. And then I have my other son, Kezo. Kezo is always on the camera. And then there's a show that we have on Zambezi Magic. I have another son there who is in the lead role. And then my sisters are also actors, okay? And then, of course, I have my madam, who happens to be a story editor and also a director on the show. So it's kind of trying to create an empire, per se, in just trying to make sure that everything gets in line, yeah.
So I think this is what... Huh?
When does the acting stop? And when are you guys ever serious? Because all I see is a whole family of people involved in entertainment and acting.
Well, I'll tell you, it's a crazy atmosphere, because it's always someone probably trying to criticize the other because they probably didn't do well at some point, or trying to say, look, did you see what I did? Have you seen this idea? This is how this can work. So that's normally the sort of atmosphere we are in, but it's fun that way. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
So what's your message to young people who are getting into entertainment, especially in the movie industry? Because right now the notion is that you can't make it if you don't know Mr. Mwape. And then a lot of other producers like you, they're very threatened about you. I think I've told you this in private. I've told you this in private. How do you handle such an atmosphere where people are so threatened with your achievements all over the years, who you are, and is it possible to make it in the industry without you?
Well, of course, a lot of people have made it without me, and mostly my number one advice is never get into the industry to come and say therefore we have a dabwisha, because after time and then that's now people now getting frustrated and going out there to now begin to say, oh, hey, I didn't work with him, I know this person, because I think we have this tendency of trying to take up film business as a competition. Film business is not a competition. Okay, it's a big cake for everyone, and it's an industry, or it's a business of collaboration. So we have film business and we have business of film. It's the business of film that I'm seeing a lot of people are really trying to struggle with in terms of trying to understand what it means. And number one thing is never come in to want to get to the top, because what begins from the top is always a grave. Yeah. Always understand to say, look, there's a process, and the process has to be, I have to get to this point, to this point, to this point, to this point, until they reach that that sort of thing. I opened up an academy, and I have a lot of young.
I was coming to that.
Yeah, you know, so we are trying so hard, and it's an industry. If we can try to remove the competition part, then I don't think there's going to be this I'm threatened of him, or I'm trying to get to this. Most of the time, like for me now, I spend more time executive producing. I've raised people, and I've raised my children who are now taking it up and doing that. So if they are also going to, what's the right word? If they are going to embody or get part of that sort of stuff, it's a process. They will understand, but one day it will never be there. It will just flow nicely. Yeah.
So should we safely say it's a family business?
Well, it's for me, film is a business. Yeah. So because it's a business, I've tried so much to make sure that the family becomes involved. Because
that was a joke, by the way.
Involved, so yeah, because I'll tell you one thing: children don't listen to what we say. They love to do what we do. Yeah.
So when I look at the movie industry, for instance, I've had these questions that I just never had the right person to ask. When we see the direction in which our movie industry has, been going through, right? We can't, and for lack of better terms, and so, I don't speak this to be like offensive. So our movie industry is not up to par if we put it side by side, maybe with like South Africa. Now, of course, they're well more advanced, and there is a lot of money that has been invested in the film industry over there. And also, if we speak about Nigeria, for instance, you see a lot of deals, being opened up from Netflix, for instance, right? Like these guys are producing movies at the very highest level. What do you think has been the one thing in our entertainment industry? And so in this case, like this just the film industry, whether it's graphics, whether it's, all these things, like what's the number one thing that has been holding us back to not being able to go through that, break through that ceiling and be very competitive at the highest level?
I always say slowly but wiser, they stumble that run faster. We are on the right trajectory. There isn't anything that we are not doing right. We are doing something right. But what we are trying so much to do as of now, for example, is to get into round table talks with, for example, government, because you can never get out there without the right political will. Yeah. There are certain things that people need to understand that make a very powerful and vibrant film industry. For example, you need to create tax-free zones. I can come to the United States of America and I get $100 million to come and do a movie. Now, the investors there will tell me, look, if you are to shoot this movie in Africa, in your country, what are the sort of tax rebates we are going to get? So if I come to government and they tell them, no, they are going to hit them big time, they will prefer they shoot a movie in South Africa, because South Africa has 2 film zones. There's a Gauteng zone and there's Cape Town. These 2 zones are film-free zones, so you can shoot anything there. No one is going to touch anything in terms of doing. In terms of hindering your expense. This is a business. And the other governments willing. For example, there was a time when one of these big, I don't know if it's Fox or one of these, or is it Harmony Presentation, they wanted to come and do a film in Zambia. But people don't understand. It's actually the other way around. Zambia has to pay the production house. And sometimes at that time, it was somewhere around $1 million, or is it $2 million? So are they willing to get that $1 million or $2 million and say, oh, okay, come and do a film in Zambia. Here's the money that we're giving you. Now, the idea there is that they are big. They have the whole entire world on their fingertips. So it's like they're promoting your country.
Yeah.
So that's why they charge that sort of amount. So that's how these things work. So
we're talking about $1 million, not 1 million kwacha.
No, we are talking about $1 million actually.
Yeah.
$1 million.
See, I never knew that
there was
these things
another
work
movie
like
I think
that.
there was a movie that was shot in Botswana. Botswana government actually had to pay $1 million. So those are some of the things that we need to get government to believe in. But if government has to believe in us as well as filmmakers, we need to understand the issue of compliance. How many of us in entertainment industry understand the issue of compliance? Okay, most people would prefer they do anything when it comes to paying tax. How can we pay off without tax? So now, when government begins to look at numbers, they begin to look at something and say, look, looks like there's nothing happening in this sector. I mean, we can't see numbers. We can't see people adding to the GDP of the country. So they'll back you out and give you and put you on a budget on 0.03%. But then again, when they put us on 0.03%, they discover that in terms of revenue, we make 3%. So meaning there is something that is happening. It's just that we need the right structures being put in place properly. And if we can have those kind of things achieved, then we are going to be talking nicely. So those are some of the things that are really, really making us not get to where we want to go. It has to be political will. Political will. It's very important. Political will. And when it comes to us, how much are we understanding the business? How many of us are starting up production companies, and the little that we are making, we are paying
taxes.
The taxes. It's that simple. You know? You've seen in the United States, you don't pay tax, you go into jail.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like
right now we're in tax season right now.
Yeah. So like
Yeah,
for now, the fun and everything ends on the 31st of December. When it clocks January, you're now thinking of bringing your W-2s, your 1099s, all of them together to submit your taxes. I submitted my taxes. And the moment you do that, when you look at the tax refund that is coming, you also look at what you're paying. You even feel the relief at, okay, fine, now I can work for myself. You know what I mean? So that fear and the accountability that is there is different. These are things that I never knew when I was back home. Like Tritonics Technologies would pay taxes. We would pay taxes. But it's one of those things where I don't know how I can put it, but it didn't give an agency. You know what I mean? Huh?
Yeah.
And this may be, what's his name? The spokesperson, what's his name? He's a comedian.
The comedian. What's his name?
Yeah. Not until you see a post of him doing something online and then you see how he's pushing people, how he's coming, or if he comments on your business. I remember he commented, he just genuinely wanted a logo. He just genuinely wanted the logo with Tritonics Technologies. I'm like, no, ZRA is on us. This guy is trying to know who's behind it. He literally he inboxed the page, and I have access to the page. He inboxed the page saying he wanted some sort of a logo or something. Then I'm like, hell no, not this guy. I had to put my tax documentation and everything. Top C.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I still have the message in my thing, right? And I laugh when I look at it, He sends that, and I start putting up my tax things fast. He involve one of our guys to do it. He does the tax, says, oh, until next time. That's the mindset that's there in Zambia. But I mean, here it's different. There's a lot that we can talk about that, has shaped even how we are running our business, including myself and my friend. Some policies. And these are policies also which you see that are affecting even the industries, the music industry, the film industry, even just social media, One of the reasons why Meta can't actually monetize Zambia,
yes.
the tax system is it's porous, you know what I mean? Because
it's very porous, yes.
Yeah.
Here, Mdala, whatever we do, whatever content that we post, ZNow's page is monetized. My page is monetized. Before we even receive our paychecks, they already get out the taxes.
Wow.
But are we going to have that system if Zambia is monetized? Do we have that system already in place? Other than the numbers of people, content and everything being very small, the population being small, are we able to handle our tax issues properly with Meta? Those are some of the questions.
And you know what? I love this topic, and I love some of the things that you're talking about, because it actually covers a lot of questions that I always get, and that are always asked by a lot of people. No, why is Zambia not monetized? Why can't we get monetized? I mean, say, look, when you see these places, things like Facebook, YouTube, that's a business. There's someone that is sitting on the other side that is looking at it and say, how much are we going to get this? If they are paying out, you must know there's a way in which they also need to get revenue.
Yeah.
And if government has to advocate to say, can you monetize it? Those are the questions that they're going to be asking. And I love what you've said, that the system is very porous. And if it's porous, it's very difficult for them to look at some of these things. And those are some of the things that we are talking about right now in terms of even streaming platforms that we would want to get out there going. And so it's tough. So if we don't get those things in place, it's very difficult to actually grow an industry. Because when you talk about industry, that's not about me picking up the camera and creating the camera. For example, if you look at the system in Zambia, we have line ministries that sit on the National Arts Council, Minister of Commerce, Minister of Education, Minister of what, and each and every one of them has a take with the direction that me as a producer will take in terms of the business. The Minister of Community Development wants to look at, am I promoting heritage and folklore, for example. Minister of Commerce is trying to look at how best they're going to be looking at marketing the stuff and where they're going to market the stuff. Minister of Education is asking, do we have any filmmakers that would want to set up film schools, for example? Minister of Justice is saying, look, if you're going to do collaboration, how do we make what are they, contracts that are going to be beneficial to both wherever we are sending this out to and all that, so it's a whole big gang up game, but we are not, I think, sitting together in terms of making sure that we understand that these are some of the things that we need to do as at now. South Africa has done it. That's why we are seeing they have a very powerful, viable industry running. Nigeria is doing it heavily, and that's how it is. Now, if you look at Nigeria, for example, Nigeria has had people that were in diaspora who've come back and who've changed the mindset. And now you can see a whole twist of how their film industry is evolving. We have you guys, and with things like these, the things that we're discussing, I hope a filmmaker out there, a good producer, is going to sit down and say, they're talking about compliance. maybe yes, this is what we need. For example, how do we get? You have a musician, for example, I'm just giving an example, as to say, no, we want you to come and perform. How much are you charging? He says, no, okay, I'm going to be charging 15,000, but you don't put it in my account. I think I just prefer
Cash.
for cash.
Yeah.
Now you see what they're scared of is the
taxes.
issue of
Paying taxes.
paying
Yeah.
tax. So now if you're scared of paying tax, tomorrow when government prepares a budget and they don't put you in the budget because they think there's nothing you're doing, you again complain. Forgetting to say government can only see what you're doing through compliance. They don't come to all the shows that we do
Mr.
throughout the
Mwape,
country. So it's,
Mr. Mwape,
yeah.
Zambia has a population of how many people right now?
I think 22 million.
22 million. Rwanda
Yeah.
has a population of how many people?
Rwanda.
Mhm.
Rwanda
14 million people.
14 million, yeah.
14 million. Rwanda
Yeah.
is monetized, Facebook monetized.
Wow.
The excuse that was there in the beginning with regards to monetization was, no, Zambia is a small country. The ads won't be showing on as much, so Meta will be losing out or something. But it is an issue of policies, processes.
Exactly.
Rwanda is way more organized than Zambia is, yet it's what? Small. It's even Meta approved for monetization. And here's the thing. I have had these conversations. Lukunka, we've had these conversations with some of our friends who have said, let's create a group as the content creators in America. We should go and meet Bachibamba Kanyama, maybe to spearhead for us to go to Meta so that the Meta monetizes Zambia. I started doing my research and I was like, okay, well, this can be done. We'll waste money getting into flights, flying into DC, going to see the ambassador, because why? There's an issue of compliance that is not in place in our country. There's an issue of processes are not put in place in our country. So it would be just like, wasenda so to become cafe river for kupanga zig.
Oh, that's true.
No, I think that's a brilliant. And if you look at Rwanda, Rwanda is deliberate with its marketing policies.
Yeah.
Rwanda right now, if you look at Arsenal, they have their airline on
Rwanda Air, yeah.
Rwanda Air.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean promoting. So how much are we doing, for example, in terms of making sure that we have the right people in front who are going to take deliberate, okay, this is the thing that we want to do. So those are some of the things that we have, and those are some of the problems that we have. So it's actually very policy rooted. But if we can try by all means to move away from that, we just had a film policy launched 2024.
Yeah.
2024. Yes, it was launched. But do you know, when you launch something, you need to have an implementation plan.
Yeah.
When I was looking at the implementation metrics, I'll tell you one thing, out of that implementation metrics, I don't even think there is about 10 or 15% of the things that they put there in terms of implementation to have these things done. In that implementation metrics, there was things like revamping all cinemas in Zambia, or even just for a start, starting with two. We have to make sure that we have a lot of so many things, but none of those things I think are in place. So if they're not in place, it just becomes like he's saying, you're taking sugar to become it can happen. And it's not something that can, that can be fought by one person.
Yeah. Lukunka Z now. So Z now is very good at mobilizing. I'm good at mobilizing people, but this guy, he's very structured. These are things that you, bro, can actually take up and look at it. What are the policies that Zambia needs to put in place for some of these things to be done? Because we want to cross the bridge before we get there.
I've already done that.
You know?
Here's where the problem comes in. The problem comes in with a lack of trust amongst creators. I did this when I came to Zambia. The last I was in Zambia was in 2021. Tried to sit down with some people. I've followed up, done the same, even virtually. As I've been here, you get on phone calls with celebrities, people who are famous in Zambia.
Creators,
we want to get something done. The whole thing about monetization. I mean, we wanted to go as far as to the president, but there is a lack of trust amongst Zambians. There is this thing that if you are trying to do something, you can never be genuine. You have a motive
behind it. Yeah.
People that you're wanting to engage feel like it's better for them to do it themselves than having you involved. They, for some reason, for just some crazy reason, you are up to something that is going to always lead people to be taken advantage of. So when we talk about maybe the issue of monetization, you know, I've tried to, Mr. Mwape, I've tried to monetize pages for some Zambian celebrities, like your very top, your most famous Zambian celebrities with the biggest numbers, the same ones that people watch and praise. And for some reason, we couldn't do it because there's just this lack of trust.
Yeah. And you see, America has processes, especially if you are trying to help somebody monetize the page from here. There are things like there's a lot of fraud captioning. You know, the systems are very, how can I say it? There are red flags in a lot of things. Okay, so you try to monetize somebody, monetize their page and all that. The first payout comes out. Okay, there's a payout that is coming out. It hasn't hit your account, but Meta is saying that they've already paid out, but it hasn't hit your account. Why? Because firstly, it's been flagged. They want to know how genuine this thing is. They're trying to do an investigation before it hits your account, or sometimes maybe just delayment. Then, bro, just somebody will come up and just say some crazy stuff. Remember, bro, I'm using my social security number, my tax details, my bank to do this for you. I'm not even getting anything. Of course, they're getting the taxes from it. It's a good thing for my tax record, you know. But you're just not gonna. Huh?
On a bigger scale, Zach, what I'm trying to get at is the issue of networking. Not so much of like lack of trust in like funds and all that stuff.
It's all rounded up on that. It's all rounded up on that.
But it starts with having trust to even sit down at a table and network and be able to bounce
discuss
off
these
ideas. So like
things.
one thing American content creators are very good at is networking and helping each other. If you look at all your top creators, they like to make sure that how can I help the next person? If this person is talented here, how can I put this person on versus I want to run everything? So like opening an academy like Mr. Mwape has done, where you are helping all these other creatives to come in. And this shows this shows seriousness.
And this shows his heart, actually.
Like if somebody wanted to invest into something, I would rather go and partner with somebody who has an academy, and you can actually see the proof of what they are doing versus this is just somebody who works out of a kitchen, right? And there is no networking. There's just one person. So these are some of the issues that I personally have encountered.
Zed, now, actually with Mr. Mwape, with the academy that he has done, some of the things that would have seen happen is collaborations where some of the biggest actors that we have in Zambia, not even looking for a paycheck, but they just say, just give me 15 minutes to be a keynote speaker, so and so week, so and so month, you advertise. You know, collaborations. Look at how Drewski does things. Look at how Kai Cenat do things. Imagine a whole Kevin Hart decides to go on a 24-hour stream with young creators. Then they were even in less than 1 million followers. Huh?
Yeah.
But he goes into their basement, into their house. They have this whole 24 hours of just streaming. They're making jokes. They're playing games together. Kevin Hart is a millionaire. And he just says, you know what, you're my boys, I'm going to do this for you guys. And he does it. He goes, does whatever they have to do. They have to do together. They do the streaming. The guys go to Kevin Hart's house. They even find Kevin Hart has put a picture of the three of them in his house. They are honored. They're like, bro, this is, you know, we don't have that in Zambia. Collaboration means you're going to steal my fan base. See? Because maybe you don't get along with that other artist, you cannot be collaborating with us. No, because Owas badeta tiana mwana wa Facebook. Tate Basango video akwachile one. The beef starts there. There's no
not only
collaboration.
that, and this industry for yabi pilaka ili for yabi panani kani we meneko fenani kani no yo. So obviously nani kani nga ulia sango aposhani. Why has that one been cast? Obviously mukalamba lelima. Now what is
that's a good point.
So we have we are so at certain times it becomes painful and retrogressive to a point where if you look at, so for example, Zambia and TikTok, there's a lot of young ladies there that are very talented.
Bad.
The moment walamwe bafio kweba oh hi, can you get in touch, come to the office. Obviously look, we are scouting, we are ever looking for talent. And that's how we've managed to get most of the talent. I mean, I've managed to send lead actors and actresses in most of these Zambezi Magic shows at high scale. And the good part is that as a casting agent, even the channel does know me, for example. They know to say, Mr. Mwape, you've cast for most of our shows. So what do you think? So it's a business of always looking for talent. You're ever looking for talent. It's not only about, okay, I'm only looking for this. No. You need to have a database all the time. I'm the one that actually did casting for Can They See Us, for example. Okay, Mr. Lawrence Thompson approached me, said, no, we want. So I organized the whole entire audition. What I was there, they picked their actors, and there it was. So that's how the system and business works. But people don't understand that, and they kind of feel when you are trying to do something, that's why I remember. You remember Zach the other day? I was telling you. I said, I love what you guys are doing because it's more like it's supposed to be the other way around. It shouldn't be like, no, but Zambian audience, there should be certain people who should be in the forefront to say, this is how this should be done. And I love the fact that you brought up certain things that have been very cardinal. And I wish a lot of people could listen to this in terms of what you've explained about monetization how policies. This can be done, how do we create proper collaboration, and work together, and like what you've said, where people obviously my brother, you have almost I was laughing the other day. Someone no twalivika perfume pananika ni power sesi, and would you believe it? Nakakwata about 1 million views. That is money. Okay? So you are trying to help someone monetize. They don't have money. Now you're trying to help them and say, look, let me help you monetize this so that at least you can make something. You're in a taxi, because we are telling them to. So in Dalama or taxes, and someone starts to think, hey, no. Hey, dude, you want to chew my money? No, dude, you're not making anything. They're trying to help. At least you're getting something.
True that. I mean,
so I don't really know how this is going to be. But like I said, slowly but wiser. We might stumble if you say, oh, let's get everything done, right? If we have level-headed guys, and I love the way your thinking is, and we keep hitting there. I know certain people through advocacy will now begin to start saying, to say, look, guys, maybe let's try to do this this way, and it's going to work for us.
Yeah.
You know?
Can I rewind
because like you are saying, Rwanda is monetized for 6 million people, and we can't be monetized with 22 million people.
Yeah.
So now, Mr. Mwape, I would like to rewind and just go back in time a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you remember what your first film on TV was?
Yeah. I don't know if the one I acted in or something that I made myself.
The one that you acted in, the one that actually launched your career like on TV.
Oh, no. That was Kabanana. I was on Kabanana as Chembo, and I remember the person who actually auditioned me was Chungu Musuka. Chungu at that particular time had just come from the US, and he was writing for Kabanana. So they
Ebo.
needed a character of a lawyer called Chembo. That's how they called me in to auditioned me. But my first time, I was only taken there as an extra. I just used to sit kuba ka drink, and they would just take my back and all that, because Henry BJ is the one who used to take me there. I said, no, come, we are going to shoot. I think you just sit here, they can use it. So I would find myself that that's how they actually auditioned me, and like, this guy is good, so why not give him a role as Chembo? So that's how all that started. And then from that, of course, that's how now I was like, okay, what is the other stuff that I can do?
But
because I also needed to get into movies.
Prior to that, you did a lot of road shows, you did a lot of adverts, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember being in Dola.
Mm-hmm.
I went for a holiday in Dola.
Yeah.
I went for a holiday in Dola, and then you and the late your brother were a big talk in Ndeke.
Yeah.
Like you are the biggest exports of Ndeke into the world. So I remember being on holiday in Dumwaiche, and then they are saying, it had Vetiashan, Ebadia, and then you'd see my Owas like Pachunguro. So I'm thinking, like, when Ebochungu, you're talking about Ebochungu Msuka, right?
Yes.
When he came, I think I was a little older than then. So I was wondering how long ago you've been in the industry. But it makes sense that Akarefe, you do road shows and adverts.
Oh yes, I did a lot of road shows for Zambia and Kenya and Tanzania, actually, because the company where I was managing, EXP Momentum, had offices in those countries, including Malawi. So we had just started road shows, and Nifotu Aleva Kosana, we were all that, and our company was called Direct Marketing Communication in Indola. So it was Kiwi or Takula.
I remember that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
I can see why they had Ebochungu to do the auditions. I think about Mwine Mushi. It's an Sungu.
But regardless of if Sungu Ebochungu is actually a very good writer.
No, Ebochungu is a very good guy. We had Ebochungu on our podcast like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago. And another person who I was very shocked that they are also very good at writing was J-Rox.
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah, he writes a lot.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because J-Rox and I actually are executive producing a show on Zambezi Magic called Inkondo.
Oh, nice.
Yes, he was executive producing Mungoma season 1, season 2. He also executive produced Tuvwange. So he's actually in that space. But of course, his passion is music, and most people think music. And then when you bring him into the people are like, but this guy is a musician. I was like, no, don't be cheated. He's actually
I honestly didn't know that about J-Rox. But for Ebochungu, because I've known him for such a long time.
Yeah.
I know Ebo loves to write. And it's only now that
Ebo
maybe
writes,
it's only now that I've noticed that he doesn't maybe move with a notebook a lot. But I would take trips with Ebo going to minister in Kafue. And I cannot book him, guys. I'm just trying to write a script. He was script, a musician. But when you look at the stuff that he's writing,
brilliant actor.
Yeah,
and a very brilliant actor.
Brilliant actor, brilliant stand-up comedian as well.
You know who else is very good at script writing? Maybe I need to collaborate with Mr. Mwape on some of the. I have scripts that I don't even know.
I see where you're going with that.
No, I mean I'm being honest. Like
he wants to be signed.
I don't mind. I have things that I've written that I don't even know where to take them to because we shifted. Like I'm not in Zambia right now, but those things are actually written for the Zambian audience as opposed to like
beautiful.
Beautiful.
So, and that's what we are looking for. We are looking for a lot of scripts right now, and mostly, like for example, if you look at Netflix loves to commission inspirational stories. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
But I keep telling people Netflix shouldn't be the top notch of where there is there's now you can even take your content to Amazon,
Yeah.
Tubi, all those places that you have, and Netflix will always make you sign an exclusive contract. But if you can sign a non-exclusive contract where you can send what $20,000 it makes a lot of sense. So what we need now is just to open up to the world and just make sure that we have our content reaching out to
and my
to
story
some
is
of these places.
inspirational. You guys should write a story about my life. I would have died in that brain surgery I had. But now we're helping over 4,800 children within a space of 2 years. That's a great story. You're
Now,
sitting
those
on
are
money.
Good story.
Those are some of the stories that we are looking for. And I would do anything to just get the right treatment for a story like that, because people want so much to watch something that is relatable,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, I had brain surgery December of 2021. I bled on the brain. And out of that, I just got to know about some conditions like hydrocephalus and spina bifida that I never knew about. And my surgery, by the way, was very expensive. And I thought to myself, how many people are dying because they can't afford to pay for basic things like a CT scan? Because for you to know that you've got this condition, you need a CT scan. And just for me to find the CT scan, by the way, I had the money to pay, but it was difficult. UTH, the CT scan was dead for 6 months. I had to go to Forest Park. And Forest Park, we paid something about 4,800 to have a CT scan and MRI eye scan. So I'm like, all this money that has been spent, and other than that, we spent 100,000 plus to get my surgery done. And I'm thinking, so how many people are dying because they can't afford to pay these things? So that's how we came up with Help Beyond Borders. Started supporting children with hydrocephalus and spina bifida. Then we started doing outreaches. We still do outreaches, going into the far-flung places of Zambia, identifying people with hydrocephalus and spina bifida, do surgeries there or bring them to Lusaka if they're very complicated. So that's something that you guys can write about, and I don't have a problem with that, because I mean it can impact people's lives,
That's very inspirational. We need to really, really make sure that we uphold and just lift up people that are doing these great things. We didn't even know about that. And again, those are some of the things that will help our film industry.
Yeah. Facebook watu ishwa tuliwa drama.
But Mr. Moyo, so
as we wrap up,
funny part in Shakuishwano Kuwa drama. Me, I've known you from the corporate side of things.
Yeah.
Which is a wonderful thing. That has helped you to keep that relationship with him. If you know him from the Facebook drama, I'm telling you, you'll be calling him every day like, yo, Chizak.
and that's what people don't know about. Don't know about that. The stuff I use, like for example, the logo and all that, were designed by his company.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's how I started knowing to say, okay, so there's Zach here, and
I don't even boast about these things.
No, you don't.
That's not even true. I'm one of the most humble people that you'd ever meet on Facebook. I just exist. So, Mr. Mwape, I have, I know Zach he talked a little bit about your brother. I don't think we touched, we haven't touched about that yet. I remember I fell in love with Mwine Mushi without even a second thought about how funny, your brother was and made us feel. And one thing that I'm so grateful for right now is that you are wearing a t-shirt which literally says reputation. I think the reputation that your brother left imprinted on our hearts is something that we cannot ever erase. The way that he made us feel, the legacy that he left in the industry, it just can't be erased in our hearts. Every single person, the way he was celebrated. By the way, sorry for your loss, but at the same time, I feel like he is forever going to be celebrated. He has been, what's the word that I can say, immortalized in our hearts.
Mm.
But of course, you are his brother. How did
Yeah,
that,
it's
impact the family? Just losing someone like that, very talented.
I'll tell you, we didn't see it coming. We didn't see it coming. Robam is a person that would always call me and he would always talk to me about a lot of so many things. And he's one person that you didn't even know he was sick or anything. And he used to call me Mdala. So he would say, hey, Mdala, you take on Zelo. No, Mdala. When you tell him you're not feeling well, he will tell you, Ulimkarek Mdala, that sort of stuff. But just to have him just go, I always thought, and I used to tell him, I always thought I was gonna leave before him. I always just told him, because Robert would exercise like no man's business. He was very particular with all these sort of things and all that. But all of a sudden, and that day, even when I was told, I couldn't. It was very difficult for me to just even take it in, because I was in the gym, Nalipa treadmill. There's this thing, I don't know what it is with life. All of a sudden, I just felt dizzy. And then...
You felt an energy, yeah.
Yes, and then I was trying to jump and more like step on the two sides. So my other leg failed, so it went down, and the rolling thing scratched me. And I looked at it, and it was... even my skin came out. So I was like, I don't think I'm feeling too well. Maybe I'll be something, or maybe I'm not feeling too well. So I walked out of the gym, went and sat in the car for about 20 minutes. Then I drove home. So when I sat down at home, the first thing I did, I see a call coming from B-Flow. And I'm like, but why is B-Flow? So we love to call each other family. I was like, Flo, why are you calling me? I said, but what is this thing I'm hearing? Someone has posted in the group that. I said, no one has told me anything. So I put him on hold, and I said, let me call Solwezi where he was. I called, and for sure on his line, the person who answered was crying. So I just stopped before. I said, you're right, my bro. It has happened, and that's just like that.
I really struggled. I really struggled that night when we got the news here. Actually, I think we got the news early in the morning, by the way. I really struggled that day, because I have had, even now, even when you posted the video you posted, I was like, this is wow, this is crazy. Because I have flashbacks of him seated, kapaso ariapa, kapaso anyaka sushi, ero fishifi. Ero kapaso I said that Mwine Mushi kapusumu kafe. That's an odd.
And then you would say, ule pusumuna win.
So I have all these flashbacks of him doing all of this acting. He had played a very important role in actually nurturing even how we speak Bemba, some of us, even how Tatakwete Chaba Shani Kumushi, Bamfumu Bekara Shani. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that showed us.
Even I didn't see it, because Robam was very well read, and most people, when they go to functions where he was emceeing and when he begins to speak English, they couldn't believe it. They could this man can speak such good English, But he just embodied a character that he had made from three people. The Bemba, that was my mother speaking, and then the Jesus, that was my dad. And then where he cleans his face, that was like our former headmaster at Kasempa Boys. So when he put those together, he created one character, and he says, these people play certain things, and then he became a social commentator.
Yeah,
I grew up in Mansa. And I don't know, Zach, if you know James Kombe, but these are people that we went to church with. If you call James Kombe today, you ask him that, what was my favorite show ever? And the only one person that I ever used to imitate was Mwine Mushi. Like I
remember you used to do that a lot.
I used to play that over and over. Like I mimic voices. I used to imitate Mwine Mushi like over and over. So the pain that I felt as well, it's almost as though like I know this man, like this person is a part of who we are. And of course, he is a part of some of us, because I mean we were growing up as teenagers and we were being modeled after this. So that's just goes to see how much we need to promote entertainment, because we just never know, like that one child, that one kid, even though like I have a lot of confidence, I grew up not having to worry about that in my life, right? But there's just certain things that entertainment will reach certain people to a certain extent that it helps to shape who they become even as adults. And so
Yeah, you can imagine, out of all that time, weeks ago, I broke down. And what made me break down was, we've been trying to make a movie to keep his legacy. Okay. So there's a script he had written, and he had won best script for some time under the multi-choice and all that. So we with the team, we've been trying to rally behind like Friends of Robam, more like to help fund the movie in terms of sponsorship. Oh my God. Isn't it becoming difficult? So, so I sat down and I was like, Robam, what? I'm trying to help, speaking to myself, and I was like, Robam, I'm trying so hard to help keep your legacy, and I'm trying to do this because this movie, it's called Strictly by Invitation. We want to shoot this movie, but just to get resources together has been, I've never faced a time where it has been so difficult to do something. I mean, when I'm doing all these other movies, it has been very easy. You just speak to this one, and then there's what we call crowdfunding and all that. It was that easy. But for him, it has been difficult. And I said, and that day, I just broke down, because you walk to people, and what is worse, sorry to say this, I had a lot of some members of parliament who were very good friends and very good friends. My friend, it's 6 months. No, okay, say, we are going to do this. This is what we're going to do and everything. That's when I realized, I just said, you know what? I think it's just going through, because sometimes you get a person like him, you want to do a project that should encompass everyone, so that they appear on the credits, so that it becomes more like it's giving back, you know what I'm trying to say. More like we are saying, look, not only was he my brother, but then we are saying, look, as an artist, thank you for what you brought, and now we want to create something that should stand the test of time. But it has been that difficult. So sometimes certain things are just unexplainable, and it has been very difficult to get to maneuver those kind of things. But I'm one person that never wants to give up, and I'm like, okay, before I go to his next memorial, I need to make sure that this is done, because we need to go and erect a tombstone on his grave. So yeah.
We come from this we come from a culture where we don't really speak about, like, men are not allowed to speak about feelings. And this is just across the board in the world. Men are looked at as invincible. Like, oh, well, you're a man. You just, you need to be strong. Like, you cannot have anything. Like, we can throw stones at you. They will never hurt you. But then at the same time, when you're in a public eye, you've been famous for a long time. People view you different.
I don't know. Can you get me? Because I don't seem to get what you're saying.
Can you hear me?
I think you can't. Can you hear me?
I've lost you guys. I can't.
Well, can you hear me yourself?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me, Mr. Mwape?
No, I don't think he can hear us. But we can hear him.
Can you hear me?
Do I need to come in again? because I need to come in again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, because I can't seem to.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we should wrap up with
Yeah, after this
1 hour
question,
27.
I'll just like to ask him this last
Okay.
question, and then we
Please.
can wrap up for sure.
Yeah, my battery went low, so I had to switch from my streaming device and plug in the phone to power and just use my AirPod for thingy.
Let me help him to be removed from the studio so that he can come in. I think he was looking for where to come in,
where to close
where
it
to
from.
exit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very good discussion. I think one of the things that I, wanting to speak to is about
Mm-hmm.
just the feelings, the pressure that men have in society, where we are not allowed to speak about feelings, where we're not allowed to tackle these issues because we're supposed to be strong, right? Which we are supposed to be strong. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, he is back here. Let me add him back to the stage. Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you now. Can you hear us?
Yes, no, I can.
Great. Yeah, so we're just saying we're just about to wrap up, and Lukunka has a last story a last question with regards to men and grief, how we handle that stuff. Lukunka.
Yeah. So what, like I was saying, we come from a background where men are not allowed to speak about how they feel because we're supposed to be strong. In society holds us to a certain caliber where they feel like we are invincible because we are men. And for you, and well, I'm part of this group now, but it's even worse for you, who has been famous for a long time. People don't look at you the same because you're a celebrity. It's almost as though they think you're not human because of the expectations that society has on you. So when you're navigating through the feelings of grief, and I'm glad that you said, that you broke down. That's still a little bit of some vulnerability right there. So who usually, when you feel your low moments, your down moments, you're navigating through grief and everything, how do you do it, and who do you mostly turn to?
I think the most important person is your partner, and then also your close family who always play a greater role in terms of making sure that they know. Like for some time, I know they were telling me to say no. We know you've not finished mourning your brother because you still feel, because sometimes, like the other day, I picked up a call and I called the number thinking, because I would just sometimes pick up, and it just happened, like I picked up only when the son answered. That's when I realized, I was like, oh, okay, this guy is no longer there, and I stopped thinking like, oh, I can always call him and we're going to be talking, and like always plan what we are planning, and because like the movie I was talking about, we had been planning together, but then all of a sudden things just like, and then so it's the pain is. Mamuna na eve mwanda malila. It's painful, but of course you don't want to show like you're really broken. Limokuya felimbo comment maybe maybe for some time it gets off from your chest completely, and then come back. So find sometimes someone like, your eyes are red. What's the problem? Are you okay? And but you're just like, okay. And then for me, what hurts me so much is that I have lost 4 loved ones in a space of 4 years. The first person who left us was my elder sister. She was a nun. And then 6 months later, my other young sister went. And then 8 months later, my mother gone. And then I lost Robam. So it has really been something that has been difficult, but you can't. Only people that are close will always know to say, I think there's so much that you've had to more like go through, but you just have to keep your head high and keep going. That's how it goes, my man.
Do you know one of the biggest problems, maybe around the world, but I know of America, that is actually killing people rampantly, is loneliness. So I'm very open about these things. I go through therapy. I think Lukunk, I've told you this before, eh?
Yeah.
And I'm proud to say this because I pay to talk to somebody on my phone. Like I have sessions of therapy. I talk to them the things I'm struggling with. I realized I have depression, among many other things, and just being lonely as well. And as a man, being aware of your emotional well-being is very important. And these are topics that we need to talk about. Some people just go not because they needed to go that way, but they just needed to speak to somebody. You need to be aware of your emotional well-being. So when I hear you, like talk about stuff saying your family knows, your wife knows, they talk to you about these things. It's very good to have support systems. It doesn't matter if it's family or if it's a friend, but the notion in our country is that if you explain to somebody how you're feeling about somebody, about something, you become the talk.
Yeah.
So people are scared.
I'm glad, Zach, I'm so glad that you've talked about this because, it's so funny that you meet people all the time. You are a celebrity, but you are very lonely. You feel the loneliness inside. You can feel sometimes even when you're trying to do something, you feel like you are very lonely. And for example, for me, Robert was more like my best friend. He's the guy that when I felt this, even when I went through problems with even my ex-wife, then and all that, is the one that would come in to more like try to sort out those problems and all that. So I think it's very, very important to talk about some of these kind of things. I'll give you a very good example. The late Bravo, what's his name? Bravo, Charlie Mulala.
Charlie Bravo.
Sling Beats. Yes. Sling Beats was a very good, we grew up together in Avondale. And I know the challenges he started going through of late. And every time I could meet him, Nomba, you could find now. So when we would talk, he would tell you stuff, and then you begin to say, and I was even telling someone, I said, I think my friend is really, really going through stuff. And one thing about our business, entertainment, you have all these things going well for you, and they stop going well for you. Oh, it's so lonely, number one. And then number two, depression hits you very hard.
Bad, yeah.
Because I remember one moment where he had gone to Uganda, and one of these big artists now was performing. So you are in a place and you can just go and enjoy Posheko. And then the guy went and behaved like Tamu Ishiba and everything. Oh, he never stopped singing about that. It hurt him so much. So nishinalipwa sana mdala. Nishbo inalipwa sana ile akola tinani kane. People tala Ishiba kifoni foto ambire. So when you see these things, now I understand why people in limelight tend to get to drugs easily, because if you don't stop it, because now you just feel like in the one day, let me feel high or something. These are some of the things I think as men we need to talk about. And I love the fact that you've brought it up. The issue of loneliness, that is a big thing. And people think it's easy. What do you mean when you say you are lonely? But you have people surrounding you.
And you know the crazy part about this same loneliness thing is that you get into the depression and being lonely, and then it gets to a point where it affects you so much that you start becoming very comfortable being in that space. And then when you realize you need to snap out of it, it becomes difficult for you again to snap out of it.
Too much.
Too much.
Yeah. Too much.
So
Too much.
I mean, I have a lot to talk about in terms of mental well-being, like my mental well-being, even the things that I've learned of late.
The topic
We
for
need
another day
somebody.
for sure.
It's a topic for another day. We need somebody.
No, definitely. That will really, and I would really want you guys to talk about it because it killed my young sister, and I know how. Before it started small, and before we realized it, it became chronic. Now to get out of it became very difficult, difficult,
And you start feeling like you're not the problem. It's the people around you. They're a problem.
Exactly. Yeah.
Why you become so comfortable on being alone? Ask him. I'm so comfortable with being alone. I can play my video game data from 6 hours up to 23 hours. I will not feel a thing, you know?
But you know what? So again, even for me, like before I became big on social media as a content creator, you have a lot of people that are always checking up on you. You have a lot of people that can just call you as friends, relying on you. The bigger you get, like Mr. Mwape said, there is this thing where people feel like, and this can be a very wrong perception where people feel like you're always surrounded by other people, right? But these people usually are people that are coming to you needing favors from you, not necessarily that they have the best interest at heart, just somebody to call up and check up on you. It's usually people that are calling to ask for a favor. Hey, can you do this for me? Can you do this for me? Can you do this for me?
Yes. But sometimes you even know the number ngawaimona, you even look at it now. So
Mr. Mwape, you know the crazy part, the crazy feeling actually that I've been dealing with, and I had mentioned this to my therapist about, is that I started looking at myself as an object that people see as taking. You know, I started feeling like when people see me, they just see taking. They just need to take, they just need to take. And when I meet people who wants to spend on me, or people who wants to, just contribute in one or another, it's very difficult for me to comprehend. I'm like,
how come?
How come? You know what I mean? Huh? And
we have people who are just takers. And when you meet them, they are just takers.
Yeah.
Even when you go to them with a problem, yes, they will listen, and in less than a minute, they're already wanting something from you. Oh, so Chabi, bye. But I was trying to find out how can I'm looking for this. Can you help? And then you're like,
if I tell you I've been homeless before in America, you wouldn't believe that.
Wow.
Because any person who comes to America, I'm one of most of the people that come into America, I'm one of them, their first point of contact, somehow, somewhere. Maybe they were asking for these resources, asking for that. And I just know a lot of people. And you wouldn't expect that I would be in a town and I'm homeless. I'm sleeping in my car.
Wow.
Because I'm now thinking like, bro, I'm known, like people, Zach is Zach, And if I call somebody just to one person, they don't back up for 1 night or 2 nights, I am gonna be the talk in the community everywhere. That's a lonely road.
You would have been trending everywhere. And it sucks. See, it sucks that I'm hearing about this for the first time, because Zach knows that I'm one of those people that would never. So that kind of hurts me that he didn't even share that problem with me.
But you were far, and you've already helped me several times. Part of my settling in America, this guy has been very instrumental, telling me stay fit. But I have pictures in my phone where I literally have a mattress in my van. I had a van there. Celebrity, but to the homeless. Processes. Moving even if now kwata fund ufire walipira ile rent because ngawalipira lodge shakwanesha rent abakamba kuibova ve muri van muri motoka chap.
Hey, I would love to continue the conversation. Unfortunately, we have to come to the wrap up of the conversation, and
thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, I think Mr. Mwape is one of those people that we need to have
Yeah.
over and over, the wisdom, the insight. I mean, good Lord, we need more of that for sure. Like we need more of these conversations from our pioneers and people like you. You know, it goes without saying that we need you back.
Yeah.
No,
Maybe we can have
definitely.
you once a month.
Anytime you guys need me, just Firafi Nezaki, just tell me,
Yeah.
Papa, are you there? Okay, ready, and then we come and we come. It's nice, you know. Some of these things, would you believe it? Even just speaking right now with you guys, for me, it feels like therapy. You know, because there's so much that you want to talk about, but you're just not going to sit there and just begin to talk before you realize it. People are attacking you. But when you are seated with the two other people and you listen to them, it feels so great, man. And
I wouldn't be shocked if this clip went where I'm saying I was homeless. It can be captured, Kraken, if you have survived.
You know they're going to do that.
No, but you see, can I tell you something? Can I tell you something, Zach? That's inspiration. You know, where you see glory, there's always a story.
Yeah.
And that's a part that most people don't see. They want to see the glory, and everyone feels like, Zach reached 9/11. No. But when you begin to tell the story of what you've been through and say, can you step in these shoes? That's the inspiration that we are looking at. And that's the most important part and brilliant, because already that's content for a good movie. I'm telling you the truth. You know, that's very good content.
I didn't know that we're going to wrapping up with you preaching now. I feel like I need to go grab
Hallelujah.
my Bible.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah.
It's culture, it's culture, it's culture. It's culture, it's culture. We talk about it. Culture, 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 culture.